is how these two top laners team fight in very different ways. 957 controls so much space around him. He opens up massive like, the reason Team WE are so good at late game team fights does rely very heavily on 957, and Flandre will either win his team the game on his team fighting or throw the game simultaneously.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, 957, the Peel Lord, and Flandre, the backline dive to a fault. He will get into the backline no matter how hard it is. But we are already in champ. Yeah, he most certainly is. We are into champion select, though, and all of the bans have come through. Lissandra, Azir, and Vladimir taken away from Tank. That is a massive mid lane focus here for our blue side in WE, as Ryze, Rek'Sai, and Trundle have been removed on the side of Snake. And WE now looking at their first pick. We'll see whether it's going to be the Graves. This will be an interesting one for Condi.
Has played it before. I really want to quickly touch on the target banning at Tank. We've said this multiple times. Yes, we just highlighted Sofm and Flandre, but Snake only play to the ceiling of their mid laner. For whatever reason, Tank can really shine or be completely denied, particularly that Lissandra pick, taking that away from him. But it's really how Sofm has impacted Tank and allowed him to get mobilized early. Yeah,
exactly. And look, at the moment, considering both of those players' picks, as Flandre is hovering the victor here for Tank, potentially. I love WE's first pick, though. The Karma being taken away can go into the hands of Zero. He's been playing it very effectively, but we saw Athena have a fantastic mid-lane Karma play, and if we remember back to the playoffs, WE, in straight Karma games, were able to take themselves to the next level. So,
again, also alleviates pressure off of Mystic from that Sivir pick, means that he can go more towards his Ezreal, which is very nice to watch.
Oh, yeah. Most certainly is. And, of course, that is an impressive poke lane as well out of the Karma and Ezreal. Yeah, actually locks away the Swain very early on in this matchup as Condi looking at picking up the Spider Lady. And that is going to be taken away now as well, so a lot of pick potential coming out from the jungler.
That's really risky. We'll see if Xie does use that Swain in the mid lane or if it's a flex pick towards 957 in the top side of the map. Because Flandre has his pocket Fizz. This guy was known as a Fizz player back in the LSPL.
Oh, yeah.
Has
Fizz one trick, wasn't he?
Yeah, Fizz one trick, effectively. Has pulled it out in the LPL to great success, constantly being creative, revolutionizing the top lane, smite teleport, things like that. So, if that is a Swain top, definitely has some threats.
Most certainly does, and it's actually Flandre's pick that is being saved until last for the counter here on the side of Snake. You can see Nami, Ezreal being looked at the moment as far as that bottom lane to be locked in here. And Martin has shown some pretty aggressive Ezreal plays so far, but I like the denial pick away from Mystic more than anything because his Ezreal is so beautiful. However, not going to be happening as I get punished for talking about hovers too often, as Jhin is what's going to be locked in here for Snake. The Jarmy lane.
But continued priority. What's it called, Atlas?
Jarmy. It's called, it's either, yeah, I just like Jarmies.
Jami, Jhin, Nami.
Yeah, because here in Australia we like to abbreviate pajamas to Jarmies.
Oh, I see. It's a pajama lane.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It doesn't quite work unless you abbreviate it, though.
I was confused, but it's fine. Jhin still
You can call it the Jimmies if you want.
No, let's not.
I think Jarmy sounds a little bit better.
I was going to talk about Jin's priority in the LPL, but now I'm just going to talk about Ashe.
I feel like this is good, though, because, I mean, if you give you an opportunity to talk about Ashe, you're going to take it.
What's cool about Ashe, although I might be punished for talking about a hover before the actual lock-in, because Ezreal is still available. There we go. What's cool about Ashe is she kind of acts like Bard in a sense. So if you go into a 2v2, Ashe is one of the few champions that has an incredibly long range that can compete with the likes of Jhin and Caitlyn.
Yeah.
She has great control over creep waves, so she's going to keep him pushed in because of the volley and the AoE damage it offers there. But also, if Jhin sets up in his curtain call, final call...
Curtain call, yeah.
Curtain call, bam, right in the kisser with the arrow. It's pretty much the Bard ultimate.
Yeah, exactly right. And you can do it from any range at all, making it a little bit better than the Trundle, which was banned away this time around. But Flandre, like we said, is going to lock away the Fizz. It's going to be Fizz versus Maokai, the matchup. But if he ever gets across from Xie, he's going to be having a little bit of a better time. Tank deciding to take the cleanse against the double teleport, though, of WE.
And this is a big difference between LGD that we saw in the last series and Snake's composition in this series, is that they open up themselves to look for a 1-4 split push and get Flandre ahead, have him cause havoc in those side lanes. But the kicker is that they've paired it with Jay-Z's Nami. Nami is so good at being a disengage option, even against the hard CC likes of Ashe, Elise, and Maokai.
And Nami is actually quickly becoming his most played support as well. Actually, even now on 4 times apiece with Braum and Karma as well. So Jay-Z getting more and more comfortable on this pick here in the LPL. And with Martin on the Jhin, we saw Jhin to mixed effect, actually playing out fantastically well in the super late game for GT, not working out for Imp. But the coaches are going to shake hands. Let's get into game number 1 between Snake and WE. Thank you very much, 957, and here we are, Summoner's Rift. First Dragon is going to be an Infernal Drake as well. How very exciting in order to take us into this match. We'll see whether we get 3 in a row this time around as well. Game Talent's doing fantastically well, utilizing 3 Infernal Drakes at 24% extra AP and AD, which is revolting. Tank now getting vision down in the river. We'll see how this early game turns out.
So people to watch in the early game is always going to be Sofm whenever Snake are playing. This guy has very interesting early game pathing, particularly when he's on a jungler like Graves, as he smites that Spiderling, who has so much control in farm.
Is he going to have it back up again in time?
I would assume so.
I'd hope so.
Keystone Mastery is popping out on your screen. Again, Imp has been joined. Martin taking the Thunderlords as well on Jhin. So the new wave of Jhin Masteries. Not a Warlord's Bloodlust Thrash, though, looking for the Battle of Fervor, so looking for some more immediate power in that 2v2.
Yeah, we find it really interesting because Ashe has been taking Fury Battle most of the time, whereas Siva, who has basically exactly the same item path, has almost always gone for Warlord's Bloodlust. I find it interesting, like, even though it's basically the same theory, it's just not done by Ashe.
Well, it's in the itemization, but I consider Ashe more of a lane bully than Sivir. Sivir takes control of the creep wave, but Ashe kind of does that to the same extent, but also if she taps you with the volley and then trades the auto attack on you, it's very hard to out-trade Ashe.
Yeah.
Like, people sleep on Ashe and her dominance in lane. I know, I say it all the time. I know
Ashe. You do. You love Ashe quite a lot. As Sofm actually changing things up, heads for a major camp here and might be looking towards some early aggression, potentially.
And this was kind of the question with Sofm, you know, was he, in a sense, a one-trick pony or kind of a gimmick jungler with his pathing? Able to mix it up, make sure that he's not as telegraphed as before, and open up more options for Snake in this early game.
At the moment, you can see Snake off in the laning phase. Now Martin looking to try and catch back up and try and get themselves to that level 2 mark. But you can see Zero wants it so bad. Will be able to grab himself a shield and has hit level 2 now. Need
to respect that crit. Martin, like, he's not even stepping forward to try to trade the crit on Mystic or Zero because he's so scared of the Karma Q as well as the Ashe volley.
However, still gets hit by it. So he needs to just sometimes bite the bullet. There does have that last crit. Just throws it down though under the creep wave. However, Condi on his blue buff right now. You can see Graves going for a full clear of the jungle. Sofm just smacking everything down. Gets straight onto this blue buff as well. He's so healthy. Will be scary if the Elise ever finds him.
Yeah, see if he's going to take his back after this or if he's going to try to contest for the Scuttle Crab, get some control for his bot lane, despite the fact that they're actually pushed in. Nope, he's just going to go ahead and back. I agree with this, because if the enemy jungler showed up, Mystic and Zero can rotate faster than Martin.
Wow, Deadly Flourish does come down. Nice bubble as Martin is going to get the speed boost from shooting out that last auto. Mystic still has the heal available, now going to use his potion, as Martin did have to use his.
Scary factor was the fact that Mystic was tanking the 4 creeps as he was fighting Martin and Jay-Z. Those little back caster creeps actually did a significant amount of damage. Doesn't help that he ate the CC by positioning himself against a wall, giving Jay-Z a pretty free bubble.
Very close to getting the kill, though, was Mystic. So this lane actually doing very, very well as Condi looking to try and get some work done onto
Playful
Flandre.
Trickster is down.
Yeah, exactly. The Cocoon is going to land from that one as well. As Flandre is going to die for first blood. 957 picks that one up. Sofm wants to try and get something back, but there's a creep wave there. And, of course, those shotgun shells don't do so well when they're tanked entirely by a creep wave.
Great acknowledgement from Team WE to realize that Flandre had used his Playful Trickster preemptively and to look for the dive. They chained the CC very well into the Twisted Advance and then at the last second throwing the Cocoon.
Yeah. Slight misplay, though, from Flandre, honestly. I feel like he could have Playful Trickstered further underneath the turret, create a little bit more time for Sofm to get around and possibly get a counter kill if they were trying to dive. However, wasn't going to happen. Sofm, though, continuing his onslaught of the jungle.
Never a good scenario, however, when you have a TP advantage on a Maokai. You can see 957 on your screen right now is actually walking back to lane because he's not sacrificed any of his creep gold or creep experience. Does mean that there's a window of opportunity for Team W to play aggressively here, which means that Mystic and Zero, they have complete control of this lane. Like, the fact that that TP hasn't been expanded assists the bottom lane so much in their confidence to continue to play aggressively forward, even if the enemy jungler shows up.
You can see right now, Martin is doing his very best just to farm it underneath this turret, but he doesn't have a whole lot of mana left over. It's only 4 CS behind. Shea is just going to utilize his Laser Bird and his Never Move to pick up a whole bunch of farm. Move his way out. Tank just looking for a freeze where he can. Nice stun. Shea is able to continue winning that trade.
Talked about trying to set up that freeze. Doesn't quite get it, but...
No.
Typically with Swain, we talk about this all the time. He finds advantages when he finally gets you underneath the tower and he's able to use his dots. It's not as effective against the likes of a ranged opponent, which is why I still value... top lane Swain a bit more over mid lane Swain.
Yeah. Slightly longer lane helps him chase people down as well.
Well, it also does give him more safety in being a shorter lane that he can just caca back to his tower.
Bird his way back in. You can see Flandre not too far behind as Sofm is going to find himself a ward. Spots what Condi's doing here, though, and he's going to be able to... Oh, no, Condi!
Here, he's running into Maokai, however.
Yeah, exactly, and there's a level advantage here for Condi. Doesn't mean too much for an Elise, but it does mean that he does have a few extra stats as Sofm trying to kite this one around, but it's just not going to be enough. Repel's going to get Condi on top of him, and Sofm, interesting decision to be made.
I mean, effectively, he died 1v1. Yes, an assist was given over to 957, I believe, the sap lane.
Yeah.
But just tries to heads up.
Yeah.
Condi and loses now in the mid lane.
Yeah, Chaos Storm coming down, doing a lot of damage to Shea, as Zero is also going to be able to lend some assistance.
Just such weird.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this idea of Sofm, you know, he came into the LPL, really explosive, very strong, kind of a head turner. You know, everyone's very curious how he's going to perform. Prodigy back from a wild card region. Nice to see him finally perform in a power region or a Big 5 region.
Yeah.
But very young. And we're starting to see some of that maybe lack of experience come through. Overconfidence. He did not have the pressure in his mid or his top lane to safely make an invade like that.
Yeah, man was pretty antsy. Is Curtain Gore going to come in from Martin, looking to try and clear out this minion wave. He's going to be able to grab himself most of them with that one as Deadly Flourish for a little bit of extra damage. And it looks like Snake might be trying to make a play on this dragon.
I think they want control over the crab, as well as clearing out the pink ward.
Understanding that they are losing a little bit of pressure. Want to make sure that they will have permanent vision of that dragon. Makes sense. Infernal Drake. Pretty difficult one if you were to let it go to deal with.
Also some free gold, as we now see an invade coming in from Sofm as well as Jay-Z.
Yeah, now with some support.
And this is something that Sofm does every single time. This time around, like you said, has support, but will contest a jungler's camps. Ahead or behind, it seems.
Damn right, doesn't even matter. Collateral damage now picked up for the Graves. Should be very important if he does find himself a spider lurking. You can see big collapse here from WE, looking to get vision down around this dragon area. Sofm going to deliver tank a blue buff, does so effectively. And the Gromp then going to be taken by the Graves.
See where he's going to use his collateral damage. The issue that I have, as far as like his kill lanes, yes, he has Victor, he has Fizz. They offer great kill pressure, but Flandre fell down early, so it kind of put him in a bit of a hole. You can see that in the CS difference, as well as, again, not having that TP for a big portion of the game. It's now up, so play could be made bottom. But if he walks into this mid lane, you're still trying to burst out a Swain. That's difficult. He's very tanky.
Yeah.
Walks into the top lane. Flandre's already behind, trying to burst out the Maokai. Everyone knows how difficult that is. Speaking of burst.
Yeah, Tank and Xie once again fighting it out. It's sort of burst versus sustain right here. As you can see, Xie actually taking the brunt of it, but not seeming to care because he's the one with the sustain in this lane.
And that's the issue with Swain, is that the fact that he can stand in pretty much the entire duration of the Chaos Storm in bird form and just not care. Just a little bit overtuned.
One could say. The understatement of the century comes out from Frostgrin as Flandre thinking about trying to hold on to this minion wave where he can. Sofm clearing out as many wards as possible, but Hawkshot keeping him under wraps.
Yeah, and keeping tabs on who's the right thing to do, because the thing is SOFM can't really walk confidently into the Maokai lane, into the Swain lane, with 100% guarantee that his time will be well spent because he'll get the kill on the tanky members. So he's trying to contest Condi. So if you just keep tabs on him, as speaking of keeping tabs on Elise.
Yeah, Flandre is going to now have the Playful Trickster, but there is, of course, no flash available. Flandre still alive for the moment, but is going to fall down. The turret not going to be enough to take care of Condi.
So if you keep tabs of him knowing that he just wants to put Condi down and seeing that he is walking towards the bottom side of the map because his top side jungle is clear, it gives Condi the confidence to immediately look for the dive on Flandre again.
And SOFM now is going to spot Zero out, but unable to get the kill. Xie throws down some Torment, laser birds up in there as well, as SOFM decides that he still wants to kill Karma.
But this is the thing. This is why SOFM is predictable.
Oh, there's the flash. Oh my god, Zero avoids the collateral damage. A little bit of a misclick there from SOFM. Doesn't manage to get the kill.
Good flash from Zero to keep him alive. But the reason Zero is there is because, okay, Hawkshot comes through. They see where SOFM is. They make the play top. They know that he's going to invade the bottom side to at least either take the camp or place down Vision. Immediately Zero responds. Almost pays for it with his life. But the fact is that they know exactly where Snake's jungler is going to be at all times.
Yeah. Flandre holding onto his teleport, walks back towards the top lane. He's 12 CS behind, but will be able to pick up a wave underneath this turret. 957, though, is very, very strong. Almost has his Spirit Visage completed. Actually has the Kindle Gem component done. So a bit of extra cooldown reduction for him over Flandre's Fizz.
Again, the concern is always going to be the level difference. The big one would be at level 6, but obviously we're at level 9 and level 8 now. Obviously more levels means more sustain for Maokai.
Yeah. SOFM once again pressured out of the way as WE starting up this dragon. And with a backing Graves, that is exactly what they're going to be able to achieve. Dragon is going to fall down very easily as Condi's Spiderlings do most of the tanking.
Much more proactive of an early game against Team WE, and this is a question that I always had. So Team WE have a phenomenal late game in terms of their extreme late game team fighting. I'm talking like 6 items versus 6 items, being able to execute perfectly or pivot on a dime in terms of their composition. It's their late game that their early game that I've always had problems with. I was always questioning, why doesn't a team just smash Team WE in the early game? Because they're so slow, so
methodical.
I don't even know if methodical.
Reserved?
Reserved is fine. Reserved is good. But showing that if they actually face a team that tries to make early game plays, that they will adjust and continue to be reactive to them. Not proactive, but just answering to what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're picking up whichever advantages they can get as well. Xie, you can see, pushing out this mid lane quite effectively. Does have his Rod of Ages now completed. He's having a very good time. 957 had all the help he could need towards the top side of the map, continuing with that CS advantage. And just the general advantage against the Fizz as well, who's not able to be that bully that he wants to be. SOFM going to find Xie as he closes distance completely. And the Chaos Storm is going to fly through. Collateral damage finishes off the kill, and that looked all too easy here for Snake, who will now get a lot of pressure on this turret.
And we talked about, SOFM being a little bit reserved, not wanting to walk into the mid lane, but showing right there that they definitely had the kill pressure available.
Damn right, if he hits all of his spells. Tank as well, with a lot of burst damage now with 2 upgrades on that Hex core, and they steal away a blue buff very effectively. So Snake showing that there is life left in the old girl.
But again, focused around tank. Still, it seems that Snake only played to the skill ceiling of their mid laner.
Yeah.
Finally, some good news for them, but it will be a blue buff trade different on where it's going. Condi will be the primary benefactor of this blue, whereas Tank has his blue.
Yeah, so Xie, as far as that lane matchup is concerned, will need to be careful with his mana. However, with the Rod of Ages, he's probably going to be feeling relatively okay. Mystic, though, is having the best time ever in this lane. Not getting bullied at all, just ashing it up.
Just farming it up. And it's a very self-sufficient lane, even though that Ashe is a low mobility carry. The fact that she does have a big stun, as well as a slow, a lot of control in front of her, and the Karma standing next to her, doesn't have a lot to fear.
No. And the speed up that is available from the Karma is the really important part. As Tank makes his way back into the lane, does have himself a Negatron Cloak now as well. So as far as going toe-to-toe with Xie is concerned, he's feeling a lot better. Just needs to catch up in the old farm. Flandre has been doing very well in order to stay the same deficit that was put on him early on in this game.
I mean, it's down pretty much just 2 Doran's Blades. Has his health crystal, but not the...
Kindle Gem.
Yeah.
Well, Tank's still looking for more as Sofm makes his way around. Xie, once again, the focus, but not going to be caught out this time. Zero throws some defensive vision down for his mid laner.
It's really the only option that SOFM has. They saw how successful the Chaos Storm was with the collateral damage on Xie the first time, and continue to exploit that weapon before Xie kind of gets his big 3-item power spike where he becomes unkillable on the Swain. That's going to be your Spirit Visage, Roa, and Hourglass, not in that order.
Yep. At the moment, looks like he's going for something like an Abyssal Scepter as his second item. We'll see whether he sticks on that train as far as getting heaps of magic resist is concerned. Will helping him against Flandre and Tank, as there's the Cocoon. But Playful Trickster is going to get Flandre away, but they're just pressuring him away from this massive wave of creeps, and Condi is going to be able to keep counter jungling while he's doing it. Really good play towards the top side to keep Flandre down.
It's forcing pressure from Snake to make a play on the bottom side. Here comes the TP. They're looking for the dive.
Yeah, double TP comes in. Zero snagged with the first of the curtain call as Martin looking for the last one. Doesn't get the last bolt. As now Snake are backing away. There's the flash twisted advance. 957 makes his way in. JZ flashes. Is going to be safe at the moment, but Xie picks up the kill. The fish is going to serve as disengage as Condi battling with Tank moves out of the way, but the Chaos Storm is going to follow him. Repel comes up. And he does have to move away. Death Ray comes in. Deadly Flourish. Not going to do enough. This next dragon up in 1:30. As the dust settles, it's 1 kill for nothing.
And no objectives traded, as well as all the TPs and a bunch of flashes expended. Coming into this dragon fight, Condi is the only member on the side of WE that has flash left and available.
Well, we'll see whether this dragon is going to be fought over by WE. As Mystic, now with a recurve bow picked up, as well as that pickaxe, wants to get to both the Hurricane and that Essence Reaver. Oh, sorry, looks like Infinity Edge. This is interesting. Normally it is Essence Reaver picked up first for Ashes. Mystic going full old school. Thinks he's a Caitlyn.
Could also just be for sieging. We'll see what he completes first. If he goes for that Hurricane.
Yeah.
Because then you have the 2 flat AD items as well as your attack speed. Although the nice thing about going Essence Reaver is you technically get like more...
More arrows, man.
Not more arrows, but with the CDR. But in the build path for it, you get more... ingredients for flat damage items because it's 2 longswords versus the pickaxe.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like this weird thing where if you're in a lane swap scenario earlier, you can actually push towers a little bit more effectively because you're not saving up for a pickaxe. You're going longsword, longsword.
Depends on back timings, of course, but do like it. Tank continuing to clear out this mid lane. Now has those couple of levels in the Hex Core, so he is going to be able to eradicate minion waves very quickly. However, Xie can do exactly the same thing. And he's also got himself some Merc Treads, so we're going to be running a little bit faster and not going to be stunned for as long by any of the members of Snake. As they have moved over, looks like this Ocean Drake is going to be what they're focusing on, but WE don't want to let this one go without a fight. They are moving in. Condi, of course, has a pretty powerful smite button. As there's the Cocoon onto SOFM.
Here comes Mystic. He has the arrow. Hasn't thrown it yet.
Yeah, we'll see whether it is going to land as WE are going to be able to lock down their second dragon.
Oh, he's got them.
Captive Audience comes in. JC takes so much damage from that arrow and will get eradicated immediately. Now SOFM trying to run away, but Mystic able to lock that one down. Curtain Call looking for Xie, but everyone's body blocking for him. And it's just not going to be enough. Zero takes the last one. It's a crit to the face, but it's not enough to get the kill.
Calm, cool, and collected. Team WE approach from the same side and stall out long enough for Mystic to get in position, and likewise for Condi to bully his way onto the Ocean Drake and actually take it away and then set up a pick and a tower. So this is definitely very clean, very methodical from Team WE.
Yeah, and 6-1 in kills. They're 5,000 gold ahead here at 19 minutes in the game. 2 dragons now for them as well. They've suffered no turret loss. They've taken one themselves just then towards the bottom side of the map. And Infinity Edge is already done here for Mystic.
I don't want to believe yet, Atlas, that they can play an early game.
They just did. It's 20 minutes in. They've done an early game.
Punished too many times by Team WE in their 57-minute games.
Let's not assume that they can do it again in game number 2.
No, but this one, props to Team WE. They've played the early game beautifully. They've met Snake at every corner. Condi has been very proactive in terms of being on the top lane, setting up 957, making sure he gets that advantage over Flandre.
And Mystic as well now has a big power spike because, of course, Ashe doesn't crit like normal champions do. He's actually able to crit sort of every single time. And so that Infinity Edge doing work consistently rather than periodically.
Looking for the battle stat as they came out of the dragon fight. Although now he's put into siege mode as a triple trap from Snake.
That is definitely a big one.
I think he's going to hawk shot.
Yeah, that's going to spot everyone out. Flandre looking to try and lock this tower down, but it's very healthy. Everyone moving up towards the top side. You can see teleport from 957 is available. We'll see whether he's going to continue pushing things out. As Sofm does get a lot of damage down onto the turret.
They've run out of creeps. The Ashe arrow is up, and enough members are here. It forces Snake to respect the engage potential and the fact that they don't have eyes on the rest of Team WE and to reset their position on the map.
Home Guard just became available here as well. 957 back in base, but decides he doesn't want to pull that trigger for now. WE defend this outer turret on the top side. Backs coming in from Snake as well. They're looking for a different point of attack.
They just really need to reset their map.
Now as well, you've got Xie with that Abyssal Scepter done. He's got so much magic resist and a lot of power here as well because, of course, Abyssal Scepter is a fantastic item on Swain because he is low range in his damage. Does like to do a lot of AoE, and that aura will be very, very effective.
Also help out on the Maokai and the Elise, like you said.
Yeah. Augmenting also means that the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does more damage.
Maybe that's why it bursts now.
Yeah, that's what did do a heck of a lot of damage.
But it wasn't available.
Yeah. Now it's just going to be doing even more if there's a Swain present.
Just poor little Nami is level 7.
Ooh.
As continuing to siege, so setting up their triangle vision, making sure that they have control of all of their waves. So they had bot and mid wave pushing forward, allowing Xie to get a cheated route through the enemy red and try to catch out Sofm.
Oh, Condi steals away the Raptor camp. Dangerous stuff. It's not what Sofm wants.
And now Snake, slow on the rotation, don't make it to their mid turret fast enough, and will lose another objective, possibly more if these stuns land. Excuse me, root.
She actually moving really quickly there as well with the help of Karma. Does show that combination pretty damn good, much like the Swain Sivir comp that you were talking about. They just didn't have to do it. Mystic was able to lock in even more utility with the Ashe. Doesn't need the movement speed, can now start fights himself.
Yeah, and now that we have the outer ring of towers down, more power to Team WE's composition. It's now 0 turrets to 3, which means that Snake have much farther to run to safety against the likes of the Karma speed as well as the Ashe arrow. So Team WE, they've got a lot of their core items set up, especially as Ashe now completes the
Hurricane, yeah.
Hurricane. They can start looking for these big team fights and picking Snake off.
He actually is just building Ashe as if she's Caitlyn.
That's my Ashe build.
That's really interesting. I mean, we just see so much Essence Reaver, you know? That's all I'm talking about.
A lot of people like Martin on Jhin prioritize the Essence Reaver, although CDR translates into safety for Jhin.
Yeah, I like that. I've always liked Infinity Edge first, but it is a lot of an investment. As Martin now just going to approach this turret. And Speaker's Blessing available there as well. Actually, no. What is that ability even called?
Which one?
Tidecaller's Blessing, sorry. That is the W from Nami that helps him shoot people and slow them down. And he's going to have it there, but 957 back up towards the top side. Tower going to fall on both sides of the map, and WE really opening things up.
But it's an outer versus an inner. Snake have been completely run around the map, and frankly, they have no answer for Team WE right now. Yeah, they gave away the outer top tower, but they're completely fine with that trade. Gives them so much more control over this dragon area, and dragon spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Don't quite remember what the next one is. I believe it might be another Ocean Drake. WE positioning around it now. 20 seconds to go. Martin up towards the top side, but 957's got a teleport. There can be 5 people at a moment's notice here around the Dragon, and 957's getting collapsed on.
Yep. So Snake all in on top, Team WE all in on bot side, and they try to pull the trigger on this Baron.
Yeah, SOFM starting this one up. Teleport's coming in from Flandre. They are committing to this.
Here comes the counter teleport.
Yeah, 957 looking for it. They know what's going on here as the sapling goes in. 957, there's the arrow. He's right in amongst it, but it is going to be the Baron taken by SOFM. Flandre is going to be able to get himself out of there as 957 has kept them up there for quite some time. And look at all 5 members. That never move was huge as Mystics throwing down the damage. SOFM trying to get out. They got the Baron. They lost 2 for it. Probably almost say worth for Snake.
Snake getting dragged around the map, finally make a proactive decision and pull the trigger on Baron. Yes, they will technically lose the team fight as well as massive damage. Oh, God.
Yep, the Flash Cocoon flat out missed onto SOFM. Still takes a lot of damage for it, though.
That was cheeky. They saved their tower.
Yep.
Maybe if Condi had just prioritized the tower, that's fine.
Or
big issue is that Condi is not in position to find the steal. So yes, 957, Shie, they can all funnel into this because it's the 2 tankiest members. Good smite secure from SOFM. Was traded for a Dragon in the end, though.
Yep. So 3rd Dragon, 2nd Ocean Drake, but look at all of this damage.
Yeah, that never move being the big thing and securing to those kills. Important factor. Snakes still have 3 Barons, which means that they can use the Baron in every single lane.
3 Dragons, yep. Oh, 3 Barons, yep, got it.
3 Barons. And it's on their jungler, their mid laner, and their top laner.
So the effective split can come in.
Yep.
SOFM looking for a steal away here as Flandre. Splitting, pushing waves forward. This inner turret is in a lot of trouble, actually. Shie is going to come around. Doesn't have a lot of immediate wave clear, but will be able to deal with these creeps pretty quickly. 957 has shoved this wave all the way up. It's going to be knocking on the inhibitor's front door, so wave control in favor of WE completely.
He's just abusing the fact that Snake don't have any wave control, and it's not like their champions can't do it. They've got Victor. They should have phenomenal wave control, but just not responding to the appropriate pressure points. Effectively what he's doing is he's moving underneath the Baron, he's pushing a pressure point, and then he resets his position. So instead of using the Baron and just ramming it down a lane, they have to continually reset time where they could be using it offensively and use it defensively.
Yeah. That's a 3-item Ash here as well. And WE, despite losing that Baron, still definitely have so much power. Now going to have a red buff as well, making up for that lack of lifesteal. We'll be able to get a whole bunch of his health back very, very easily.
And the nice thing is that he's not competing against any armor.
Yeah.
The only defensive stat that Snake have is all in MR.
Well, it does make sense with 3 large magic damage dealers as WE against the tide are able to grab this inner turret.
And now rotate top to the set up creep wave waiting for them.
Oh,
Condi
like
setting
the one I
vision,
prepared earlier.
taking it out of the oven.
Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, how does this even happen?
This is the lasagna of tower sieging.
And SOFM is just going to get obliterated. Condi with so much burst damage with those 2 extra AP items on top of his runic echoes. Jesus, that's what SOFM normally does.
That's preparing a beautiful meal and then just having Parmesan like sprinkled on top.
I know. Bit cheesy. Exactly right. Excellent use of Parmesan there. I mean, it's not parsley, which you often, like to garnish meals with.
Not any of that basil.
Yeah, basil. Oh, dear. I think basil is the word you're talking about. Deadly Flourish helping clear out this wave. Shie slowed down, but they're looking to break open the base. Chaos Storm right down, trying to clear out minions. Shie going to go into bird form, but doesn't have a lot to sap health from. You can see now Zero actually forced to use the flash. Condi stunned up for the moment, but look at the movement speed. Flandre wants to try and close distance, but he just can't against the Karma.
This is disgusting.
Gross, man.
And it's about to get worse because they picked up so much global gold in that exchange. They're about to go spend it, and this gold deficit, I mean, it's not 10K yet, but...
It's 8. It's getting there.
Ballooned way too far out of control. This is oppressive, disgusting, amazing.
Repugnant. Yeah. Really beautiful play, though. Yeah, exactly right. And this is exactly the game that we're looking for as well, because WE, their style isn't necessarily something that Frostgreen has normally liked. But this time...
I don't want to get too excited, because I love this play from Team
Yeah,
WE.
you do.
I love really
I'm feeling
clean, methodical. I'm happy. It's not It's not 57 minutes a single team fight. We're not gambling on this. We're not saying we're super confident in our ability to execute a team fight. Because now, Team WE, if they can do this consistently, they've shown that not only are they beautiful late-game team fighters, but they can also play the early game, which makes them that much more well-rounded as an elite LPL team. So please, Team WE, don't let me down.
Adding strings to their metaphorical bow, as the Hawkshot is going to spot Tank out, trying to take his blue buff, and there's the arrow. Is going to land directly onto Tank. Has to use the cleanse as GA avoids the tidal wave, but they steal away the blue buff, sort of. Slowly, but surely. Come on, it's trying to reset so bad.
That blue buff is OP.
Yeah, that dude was not keen on dying.
He just 1v2'd Maokai and swing damage.
Reset is a powerful mechanic, Frostgroom. 957 moving up with his support 0 in tow. And they're looking to try and contest yet another buff. Not going to be able to this time, as it is Sofm able to lock that one down. As wow, what a journey 957 went on.
Doesn't have, got out in time. Condi was looking for it.
Damn right he was.
As now
also.
Yep, pressuring bottom and mid. Team WE not slowing down at all on their siege. Not afraid to dive towers. They are very tanky right now because they're so far ahead of the clock, including the enemy team.
Well, GA not going to get stunned by the flourish, but does take a bit of damage from it. Dragon going to be spawning in a minute, but also the Baron. WE probably looking to try and grab this one. Condi, son of Baron, probably wants to be able to steal one this time. Of course, wasn't in position last time around.
Late to the party.
Yeah, it was a good heads-up play from Snake. Try and get something back, but in the end, pretty fruitless.
Thank God. We're in.
We are back into the game, and of course, about 31 minutes in, if you include the pause, WE are ready to win.
Ready to set up, and you see the immediate assist ping on the Baron, but it was actually a red assist ping. Snake need to get over there.
Help me with the Baron, everyone.
And they need to set up some defensive vision so they can try to steal this one or possibly fight for it.
Well, you can see Martin able to clear out this wave quite effectively. Captive audience coming in as well, which will help out. And WE deciding to take the easy objective, which will also help them take down the Baron very, very soon.
It's also because they can burn it before the Baron spawns, and there's no way that in the 7-second window that Snake have over by this pit that they can complete this Baron.
Yeah, and they managed to get all of the vision down that they needed beforehand, so making sure that Snake had to spend some time clearing it means that they definitely couldn't start anything safely as Sofm, Snake setting up some sort of sneaky scenario. Is Condi going to get bubbled? It's a big stun combo, and that's going to be the jungler removed from the map.
Frankly, there was zero reason to face check that. You've got an Ashe on your team. You know that Snake are going to be setting up around this Baron. Condi just loses his mind for a split second, but does give Snake an advantage of the smite, which means that Team WE, they have no chance to steal this. They have to fight. Yeah,
Jay-Z is actually quite low as Zero's going to eat the fish. The arrow flies through as this Baron is going down extraordinarily low. Sofm's going to lock up another one, but it is going to mean his death. There's now Flandre. He's going to fall down, but it's a once again 2 kills for 1. And a Baron going in favor of Snake.
This looks awfully familiar. Son of Baron getting a little too eager around that corner.
Well, that's how you deny him his ability to steal Barons, is kill him beforehand.
Again, has an Ashe on his team. He had the tools. He had the power to face check safely. Chose not to, is punished. Should also be noted that Snake, yes, members went down, but they still retain the Baron on at least 3 members, which means that they can apply it in all 3 lanes simultaneously. Not as neat as the first time, simply because one of them is on their Niami.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate. Of course, Flandre probably wants to be alone, farming things out, so won't have the Baron for himself. However, Tank certainly has it, even though he missed a cannon creep. We'll pretend that didn't happen, because it makes me very upset.
But this now opens up this 4-minute window, or 3 minutes and 30 seconds of just breathing space.
Well, if anyone wants to stall, it's most definitely Snake at this stage of the game. However, you can see Xie still pushing things out. There was a Baron available on those minions, but you can see Martin didn't want to get anywhere near the Raven Man. Now WE setting up here on the bottom side jungle.
They should be setting up on the top side. They have wards over here, which is why they want to play around it, but it's still an open top inhibitor.
Yeah.
They don't have to play against the Baroned up creeps and trying to siege a turret down. They could just walk into the open top side.
Just wander into the base casually.
Which I think they're realizing now. Hawkshot went out, which is setting up protection for them to set down their deep vision.
Oh, and Mystic is really wanting to find an arrow here as well, as Sofm going to spot the vision. Puts down yet another ward, just making sure that they have continued pressure, as that pink is going to be taken as well. So Mystic dealing with the minion wave in the mid lane, but probably just happy to wait out the Baron, honestly. This is respite for Snake, yes, but WE probably don't want to go up against those empowered creeps if they're going to fight.
The Elder Drake is coming.
Yeah, for this. In 30 seconds, WE will have their opportunity to make things happen, as there's Curtain Call. It's going to secure the blue buff, as GA just does not care, just utilizes the Rift Scuttler to get some health back.
Really cute smite on the Wolf Camp to offer safety for Snake to walk down there. Obviously the Wolf Spirit. Turning a corner, seeing that Birdman.
Harvey.
Harvey?
Harvey Birdman. You haven't seen that show?
Oh, I thought that's what you named the Wolf Spirit. I was going to say, you're getting real intimate over there.
No, I'm calling, we'll call Swain Birdman. Like Harvey. He could be Harvey if we wanted to.
Got it.
Hopefully he looks good in a suit.
Split push, though. It is the Cannon Baron creep against the world.
And actually against a volatile Spiderling, and loses the battle. And GA is looking to head back to base. We'll see whether he's setting up for a teleport play, as 957's already here. And you can see with this open inhibitor, that is going to fall down very quickly. Condi's going to help out. Zero going down very, very low. As you can see, Flandre right in the mix. Chaos Storm doing a lot of damage. Tidal Wave almost secures the kill, as it's actually Mikhail's Crucible that helps keep Zero alive. Can still offer his utility to the team, as now WE looking to try and turn things around. Nice never move on to tank, as there's the Curtain Call. Oh. Wow, Zero just gets plugged for the first kill. 957 is going to fall down to his GA, as when he hops back up, we'll probably get stunned by the gravity field. No, doesn't, thank goodness. It's WE with only one dead, looking to try and turn this one around.
Yeah, Martin threads the needle right there. Does manage to pick up Zero, but it's still that down inhib. Lucky for them, it's not the Baron inhib, so it won't be as big of a deal for the purple monster when he respawns, but will be an issue if they play around this Elder Drake.
Yeah, exactly. Taking the top inhib, sort of the opposite one, means the Elder Dragon, definitely something that does have to be contended with. GA's teleport is down, but they still have the same amount of teleports that Snake have. Considering Flandre is still up, 957's also still available.
They have a window of opportunity where they need to be taking the Scuttle Crab right now. They're too late.
Well, Snake are definitely going to jump on that one. As Mystic, he has now got a Bloodthirster, as well as that Elixir of Wrath. Looking very strong on this Ashe.
And again, there's finally an armor item available for Flandre, but otherwise he's going to be hitting pretty hard.
Yeah. It's just sort of organic armor. 15 seconds now on this Elder Drake. WE have a lot of time to play with that top wave of super creeps heading forward. Of course, Flandre with his teleport will be able to deal with them for the moment. And Snake actually looking to try and take down this mid-outer turret against the flow. They are going to be able to get in there. Sofm getting some auto attacks. There's the arrow. Sofm can't make it to the wall in time. Never Move comes in, and Condi is going to be able to lock down the jungler. And with the Elder Drake available, I have seen this show before for Oscarin, and last time it was Snake as the main role.
And Snake can't afford to look for a 5v5 because they're nowhere near close enough in items or gold. So instead, they're just going to back away and give this one over for free.
Yeah, and that is going to be so much combat stats. 1 minute left on the Baron. WE probably looking to break open the base even further before that is even an issue. Mystic going to teeter off, grab himself this bottom wave, start shoving this in to Snake. Well, they might now be able to get that Baron inhibitor.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, is the fact that Baron's going to spawn in 1 minute. And I feel like Snake almost have to give this one away for free unless they get the perfect engagement, because if they die here, they'll lose the game.
Yeah, and there's 5 members of WE able to easily take down this turret very, very quickly. Mountain Drake helping them out there as well, as they take the inhibitor immediately afterwards, and now the base is in tatters on the side of WE. 40 seconds to go. WE doing the smart thing, moving over now towards the mid lane. They'll clear out this minion wave on the way through. Thankfully for Snake, they have pushed it out a little bit further. But Baron is on the minds of WE. They want to get one. I mean, they've lost 2 so far.
Snake have 1 play left to them.
WE don't want that to happen, as the arrow is going to just list lazily through the team. Not going to quite find too much as GA does have a fish on top of him. Not going to happen here as the fish falls down, actually. Jay-Z already dead as Mystic jumps forward, picks up the kill onto Sofm. Martin still alive in the backline as GA looking for him. Look at this bird. He's just untouched as Flandre is getting raven to death. And that is going to be the third kill in a row here for GA on the Swain. WE looking to say, nah, let's not get a Baron. Screw that, let's just win the game.
The gold advantage speaks for itself. They don't even need the arrow, and Team WE just ran over the top of Snake in this team fight. Having a little bit of trouble because they didn't have their creep wave initially on the tower. This one will be far easier.
It certainly will be, and these Nexus turrets are evaporating. You can see Snake relegated to their fountain right now. And WE, a well-deserved victory, control throughout that entire game.
And you can see it on their faces. They just took game one, and yes, it is a 3-game series, but that was the calm, collected look of stone-cold killers.
Damn right it was.
There wasn't a smile or a cheeky grin to be seen. Team WE all focus, all business.
Yeah, they are all business tonight, especially after their loss to Game Talents as well. And guys, if you really want to get a good momentum game, have control throughout its entirety. And that is exactly what they were able to do.
It was just zero response from Sofm. Condi made very early plays on the top side of the map twice, and Graves was unable to accomplish anything. They attempted a bottom lane dive, but not having the TP advantage, just lost out.
Yeah, couldn't make that one work at all. You can see Xie getting further and further ahead this game. The Swain, although it was sort of a slow victory for him, towards the end of it, I mean, no one could do anything, and they killed the one mortal reminder on the team. Sofm died in the last team fight. There was nothing they could do. Jay-Z took a third of his health bar from an arrow, which I thought was really cute. Mystic is just super big. They had so much dominance across the rift. Every lane.
Zero jungle assistance.
Yeah.
Swain's going to naturally win most of his matchups, or at least survive them. Again, he's very hard to deal with. We saw him stand in the Chaos Storm almost for its entire duration without care in the world because he's in his bird form. Kill pressure will always be for Karma and Ashe, especially on the likes of Jhin and Nami. They're so fragile that if they're ever connected with any of that hard CC, as well as the poke damage and control of waves that Ashe and Karma will have due to their AoE damage.
It's just really nicely played out here from WE, and what the question now is whether they can do it again in game number 2, because WE always been a team that have been a little bit sloppy throughout the early stages, but then once things get, you know, into the late game, things are absolutely fantastic for the team. However, this time around, it was just all clean, all controlled, and they just slowly won the game. Despite the fact that they lost 2 Barons, it didn't even really matter because they kept that approximately 10,000 gold lead throughout the game.
I don't want to call them sloppy. I want to really define it that Team WE haven't been sloppy in the early games, but they've just been very... They'll
stagnant.
Trade, yeah, they'll trade objectives very freely. They don't try to force anything. It's kind of like most LPL teams are like the 50-50, and for the early game at least, Team WE is more like the 70-30. Like they're not going to take something unless they 70% chance no. When it comes to the late game, though, they'll definitely flip that coin, and they'll usually win. Yeah,
so the 50-50 going off and over to them. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to throw it to a short break. When we get back, WE trying to close out the series. We'll see whether they can do it.